Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and wherever you are joining us from. Yeah, you are welcome. You are welcome. I appreciate everyone. Yeah, our thoughts, our prayers are with Nigeria, and we hope we make the best choice in today's election. Yeah, I would like you to say hi as you are joining. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you. Yeah, let's keep broadcasting this. Let's let other people be aware that we are starting. And I must commend some of the groups. I saw what is going on there. That is very commendable. That is very, very, very commendable. I love what we're doing. It's all about everyone learning. And that is what I see going on with some of the groups. That's awesome. Yeah, welcome everybody to our folks in Nigeria. I know we are patiently waiting for the election results. The best will surely come out by the grace of God. Today is the 7th week of business analysis made easy. Yeah, 7th week, we have one more week to go. And I believe this learning experience, it has been a wonderful one, an awesome one. But we won't stop learning even after the 8th week. We have so many things in stock for us. We're bringing in more resources and areas that can help us and enhance our skills as business analysts. Yeah. Chineye say, I hope tension will allow me to concentrate. Don't worry, just relax. You've done your best, and we trust God. We perfect the remaining. We want peace. We don't want any trouble. We don't want violence. We want everything to be good in Nigeria, and we want a new Nigeria. The Nigeria that we will all be proud of. The one that, yes, I can confidently and comfortably come back home, without sneaking in and sneaking out. Thank you, Melissa from Alberta, Canada. So today we are going to be looking at another part, another skill that is very important for us as a business analyst. Although it is not like a kind of 100% compulsory for you as a BA to have this skill, but I would say for you, to stand out as a BA, you need to add some more skills than what every other person can do. Remember, when we're talking about project management and talking about software development life cycle, by the time you start from the project initiation and you move to analysis, the BA will work a lot in that area. Requirements are elicitation, using different techniques to gather our requirements and analyze the requirements. You try to verify it with the stakeholders and you validate the requirements. The next thing, you document the requirements, which we have done some of those with our scenario, the case studies we're working on for Chad Apparel. We have documented it, raised business requirement documents, and from there we move to write our user stories and acceptance criteria, which we learned last week. I know most of this learning, they are at high level. And like I've said, I've seen in some groups, they take it further beyond what we learn in the class, and they are doing extremely well. I must also tell you that I'm sorry, I've not been able to really go into some of those, check the Jira board and see how we're doing. this previous weeks has been very, very, very hectic for me. I have there is organizational restructuring with my clients, and I have new set of stakeholders that I need to work with. So that's like change everything for me entirely, and it's very, very, very overwhelming. But yeah, I'm getting on fine. So after you document your requirement, like we use talking about using agile methodology, which we move already on Jira last week. And like the facilitator told us last week, you may need to add some things to your user stories, your requirements that will help the the developers, so that they won't come to you like too frequent to ask you questions when you are able to document your requirement very fine. And some of the things you may add is like a process flow, either it comes in the way of a swim lane, entity diagram, or you do the normal flow charts. That will help. And again, another part is that you can add wireframe or mockups, or perhaps you can even do a prototype. So today, and that process we call it, you are modeling your requirements. Modeling requirements. So that will give a better understanding to the developers, your project team, likewise your stakeholders, to have understanding of what you are developing, and that helps you to bring everybody on the same page. So today we'll be going into that part. We want to learn the tool. We have different tools that we can actually use to model our requirements, like bringing up all these things we write, put it in a diagram form, and we'll be looking at mockups today, which is also it is high fidelity, but not that really high like prototype, but very similar to it. It goes more than the low fidelity like like wireframe, but it goes beyond that level. My advice to everyone is, number one, you may first of all try to draw this thing on the paper. If you don't know how to, if this is your first time of using tools, you can draw it on paper. Then you begin to now use the tool to transfer whatever you draw with your, the sketch you have on paper, and put it on the system. So joining me today, I'm not going to take the class. I'm so blessed to have a lot of people around me that will also be, like I said, it's always learning. It's always learning. So if you also have something you want to share, you can reach out to me. We will give you the opportunity to also come and, teach others as well. So today we have one of our Success Career Hub member is also a facilitator, is also a mentor as well. He will be running us through that process today. And I bet you will enjoy this session. You will enjoy it. You may need to take notes. The video will always be here. We're on YouTube live, and you can always access the video. Again, I also drop it on our Google Drive. So I welcome today. Last week it was Ola Yinka, right? Today it is Akin Yinka. I have Yinka around me. Myself, I'm also Yinka. My own is also Ola Yinka. Yeah, this is live. It's recorded already. Thank you, Francis. Thank you for that. So I bring aboard Akin Yinka to take on the floor while I will be at the background. If you have any question, drop it on the chat. If you have any suggestion, add it on there, and we'll take it off from there. Akin Yinka, over to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Gringa. Thank you. So once again, we just want to welcome everybody from any part of the world you're joining us from. We're going to have an awesome time. Today, it will be more of you guys doing practical, and it's not going to be more of a theoretical kind of a session. And so that means if you have either, if you're watching this with a laptop or a desktop, you will enjoy this. But I really, in time to come, maybe in some couple of minutes, I'll be working with one of us. Um, I'll be working with one of us. Any of you who is joining this with, if you're joining with a laptop, I can bring you. I'll tell you the platform we'll be using, and then we'll share the screen. We'll be able to work together to get what we're trying to do today done. Of course, we are not going into the in-depth part of this whole class today. The reason because this is not an extensive kind of, you can't even learn it in 1 hour, but you can be confident that you can at least build a basic, at least a basic mock-up. You can, at the end of this class, you will be able to be sure that you can build a basic mock-up. Some of you may be hearing mock-up for the first time. um, so let me just give you maybe the theory part. What is mock-up? Why do we need mock-up? Why is mock-up necessary? This is the part where I'm going to engage you a bit, and so you can get the context of why we're doing what we want to do today. Number one, if you need a layman definition of what a mock-up, so when we say mock-up, it's MOCKUP. That's the spelling on top of that. So we call it mock-up. So what is a mock-up? A layman definition, I'll try and help us to post it. A layman definition is, it is a preview. Just give me 1 second to make it easy. Perfect. So the simple definition of a mock-up, if you just, what are we really talking about today? It is a preview, more like a preview, that will make your project look real. So that simply means, once upon a time, I know you're joining on YouTube right now, but once upon a time, before YouTube went live and started making it public, before YouTube became YouTube, behind the scene, there were some set of people, they were sitting down and they were eliciting requirements. They're like, what should it look like? And so after they elicited the requirements from the stakeholders, from the subject matter expert, okay, what do we want to do? They put the requirement together. You guys are business analysts, so you understand some of the punchlines I'm using. And then they build, they have their acceptance criteria, user stories. After all of that is done, if you're familiar with your software or system development life cycle, there is a designing stage, right? There's the part where there's a designing stage. And as business analysts, you can, Mr. Gwing already taught you that, I want to believe, the part whereby you can either have your process map, then from there, but because in this context, we're even going in the software development. So this is where we incorporate things like wireframe, mockups, or prototype. And I'm also going to tell you the difference between these three, but for today, we'll focus more on mockup. And there was a time I was working with a particular client, and she wanted me to work on, she has a need, more like a business need, and then she wanted me to execute a project. But she just called me and just said, okay, I need something like this. Just give me anything. She just said, just give me anything. And then I just thought I understood what she really wanted. So I just went to my board, came up with a design, a solution that I think will really work best for our business need. And when I sent it to her, she told me that's not what she wanted. So I spent a lot of time already working on the solution just for me to hear her tell me that that wasn't what she wanted. So what I did next was I had a meeting with her. What do you want? So with mockup is one of the easiest way to really just build more like a, let me use this word, demo, a preview. And then with that preview, if your stakeholder is already fine with it, let me give you an example. It makes life easy, and I will share my screen right now with you guys, and you understand what I'm talking about in more context. Okay. Now, all of you should be able to see what I have on my screen, right? And so there was a time I wanted to work on a project, and then it's a concept we're trying to plan, and then I was only going to have one time for the whole setup, and the whole setup day is the same day the concept was going to hold. So I wanted to work with my project manager, and then all I did was just to create more like a preview. And this is what mockup is all about, a preview that will make the project look real. What's the project going to look like? So I just went and just design. Let me zoom this much more so you guys can see what I'm talking about. And then, so, okay, this is where the audience will be facing. This is where the drums will be facing. This is in more like a religious setting. The camera, the singer, the main singer, camera 1, camera 4, the bass guitar. So this is more like a preview, right? This is a preview of what it's going to look like. And so why is this necessary? The reason is because if I tell maybe the project manager, okay, I want to work on a concert, I want to work on the concert on this particular day, just give me any arrangement, set it up the way you like. If we get there on the day of the concert and it doesn't look like what we want, then that's a waste of time, energy, money, or even resources on the end of the project manager. So at times it's really just good if you just have a preview. What is it gonna look like? This thing you're talking about, what do you want it to look like? There was a time YouTube had that conversation. What would YouTube look like? Right? So that's what mockup is all about. It's a preview. Just have a preview. So if you want to put it down one more time, if you want to write down, it's a preview that will make your project look real. It is not the project itself, but more like a preview of the project. Does it make sense? Does anybody have any question? Let me be sure that do you understand up to this point, at least the theoretical part? Do you understand up to this point? Okay, let me get yes, let me get no, let me get yes, let me get no. Does it make sense? And while we're waiting for you to comment whether you understand or not, so there are several tools you can use to build what I just built. Okay, perfect. There are lots of tools you can use. Let me give you a couple of them, and then I'll tell you the one we're using for today. Okay, awesome. Thank you for the yeses. So you can use a couple of tools for your mockup. You can use Fluid UI. You can use Adobe. Oh, some people call it Adobe, depending on what part of the world you grew up. Adobe XD. You can use your normal. There are lots of. In fact, there's a particular one called Mockups. That's what they call it. The name is Mockups. So many people are trying to build their brand around the mockup itself so that they can go mobile. So there's smart mockups. There are lots of, depending on what you're more comfortable with. Now, because the business analyst is more like the middleman between the IT guys and other stakeholders, maybe the business, you speak the language of the business, you speak the language of the IT. There are times whereby, in order to communicate or to clearly explain what you want the IT guys to do, you may have to help them with some visuals. There are some requirements. Let's say you write some user stories, and you might need more detail apart from the user story and acceptance criteria in order to so that the DevOps guys should be able to create something to work with. For example, the practical example we'll be using today is going to be the child apparel project we've been working on. I'm just waiting on Mr. Gbenga to give me approval if we can use that particular project we've all been working on. Mr. Gbenga, in 1 second, can you just check your messages? I sent you a message. We need your permission if I can share my screen too. And so, but that's that. So for today, everybody, if you have a second device, just go online now and just type Mock Plus. So it's spelled, let me even put the link out there to make it easy. Mockplus. Mockplus. Everybody. And this is the one we'll be using for today. This is one of the tools we'll be using today. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Mr. Gringer. So we are using Mock Plus today. I'll send a link now, and this will really make life easy for you as a business analyst. And I will still give you 1,000 more reasons why you need this. So I just send the link, and so just create an account. Everybody just create an account, and like I said, I'll be able to send a link whereby you guys can actively even join me. We can all work on a project together. So that's the beautiful part of this. And so just set up an account on your Mock Plus, and then while you're doing that, I'll give you about 2 minutes to do that. While you're doing that, I'm going to share my screen, and I'll give you a picture of the difference between the wireframe, the mock-up, and the prototype. So this is more like it. Okay, you can see my screen. Let me share my screen. So this diagram gives us more like the basic pictorial difference between a wireframe. From the word wireframe, it looks like more of wire, more of symbols. But when we talk about mock-up now, you have a pictorial picture. It's more of, I have a preview of what I want it to look like. This is a preview of what I want it to look like. Let me expand my screen so you can see. So the beautiful thing about Mockup is you're working with a client, and then the client said, "Okay, I want you to help me build an e-commerce, or help me to build a whatever they want you to build for them." It's very easy for you to just go on, maybe use the tool we're using today, Mock Plus, just give them a preview of what they want, and just ask them, is this what you really want? Because if it's a no, if that's not what they really want, and you start, you're a developer, you are working with other guys, and then imagine you starting a project 2 weeks into the project, you build you get your user story, acceptance criteria, and then your DevOps guys are already building the e-solution or the e-commerce, and then just for you to have let's say you're using agile, maybe it's an agile environment, and then you are using Scrum, for example, and then you're supposed to have your sprint review, and then your stakeholders come around and they say, well, this is not what we want. So you guys just wasted 1 month. So you're using cloud, just Mockup Cloud. So that means you guys just wasted 1 month. Right? So at times, but if you show any of your stakeholder the Mockup in the middle, this middle guy, and if it's not what they want, they will tell you this is not what we want. Or if they want you to adjust anything, or if your stakeholder, major stakeholder, wants you to do anything before you even go to the part whereby you're even design, whereby the DevOps guys are beginning to design. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen for a second. So it's gonna be Mockup Cloud, and if you are able to register, or if you've already registered, just comment, I just registered, or you signed up an account. Let me know. And if you are using a laptop, let me know. I can send you the link. You'll be able to join. But to take it a step further, if you've really been working on the project, the case study we've been having, which is Child Apparel, if you've been working on that project, by now I want to believe everybody must have their okay, thank you, with a PC. Okay, Mayowa, thank you. I might send you a link later, Mayowa. You'll be able to join on the project we'll be working on. The thing with practical classes is I'll show you how to do it, and then you do it. And then the more you get better on it, you will know. And then we can also see as well, right? We'll have more like a community. I know the number of people that can join is limited, so it's more of maybe a few of you that I'll choose. Anyway, so I'm just gonna share my screen, and then we'll go into the main. So some of you already would have your, I don't have any but I know last week, few days or a few weeks ago, we have your user stories and your acceptance criteria. And so we're only going to work on one major today. By the end of this whole session, every one of you should be able to say, now I can build a solid mock-up for a login page. Every one of you will be able to say, now I can build a mock-up page for at least login page, at least for Child Apparel, at the least. So any site, for example, H&M, or any clothing apparel that you are building for your clients, you want to make sure that users will be able to log in. And that means if they already have an account, they'll be able to log in. If they don't have an account, they'll be able to sign in, right? And so now let's say we are working with Child Apparel, which we are. I want to share my screen now. I will show you what one of the sign-in page we've built, and then I will take you to an empty page whereby we're going to build it. I want to give you a preview. So a preview, for example, this is what a mock-up look like. This is more like a finished, I'm going to send you the link, everybody. So this is more like what is going to look like. This is a login page or a sign-in page, depending on what you call it. Mock-up. This is what it look like. So the next thing I'm going to show you now is how we, from the scratch, are we able to achieve this with this tool called Mock Plus. So one more time, just save this somewhere in your mind. This is what it's going to look like. This is where we are going. So let's say you are Chike and Ade, and we show you this. Is this okay for for the login page? Chike might say something, oh, give me color red. I don't want this color. I want it to be red because it's February month, Valentine's season. It could be anything. But long story short is, so this is an empty, every one of you should have access to an empty page like this. If you already have an account, you'll be able to just create a new project. Okay. A couple of you said you are using a PC. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to send you a link now, and then I need a few people to join me so that I don't get to do this alone. It can be as interactive as possible. So if you have a PC, you don't need to download it. You can use the cloud. It's cloud based. You don't need to even download anything. Okay, so I just sent the link. Anybody can join me. I need at least 1 or 2 people. Then I will just show you how we got this from the scratch, and then I will leave you. I will delete it or pull it down or create a new page for you, and then you'll be able to do something like. But before we get there, if you let me just go back. So if you sign in, if you log in, you should have something like this, more like the literal default page. This is what it's going to look like. And then to do any project, for example, we want to work on this project. I just call it new project. It's going to open and give us something like this. So this is a neutral project. On your left-hand side or the left corner, now if you're using a laptop now, you enjoy this. And make sure the mouse you're using, maybe you're using even the wireless mouse might help you here. But now on the left side, you have lots of stuff that you can click and drag. This guy worked more on the click and drag basis. Lots of stuff that you can click and drag. It works more with click and drag. So there's a rectangle here, for example. You can just click and drag it. I'm just going to show you just normal. There's OK button. You can click and drag. You can expand. I'll just do that now. And then I'll do this. Yeah, there are lots of stuff you could play with. Let me just bring, for example, Facebook icon or payment gateway. If you're building a payment gateway, which we're still going to get to at the point, there are lots of signs or symbol or currency. So this is dollar. You can bring it to your project if you need it. I'm just still playing around, showing you guys the function. And so on your left-hand side, there are lots of, okay, I think I can see a couple of you. So I can see Dory Bags. I can see all of you have good nicknames. So, but for today, at the basic level, we'll just work with so this is a checkbox. You can bring it to your project. So you have lots of stuff you can use here. This is a polygon. You can bring it to your project. You expand. Once you bring them, you expand. Yeah, I think somebody's already playing around with something else. So this is, yeah, I see a couple of you playing around already. That is on the link. So I have a couple of people now on the link right now, just playing around. I could see somebody. So just drag any image if you're connected already. Let's play around first. Let's just play. Let's enjoy ourselves. And then once we start enjoying ourselves, then we can jump into the Chad Apparel login page. Anybody, just once you join, drag any shape here, put it here, and then, for example, this is a rectangle. For example, I drag it here, expand it a bit, and then change the color at the right corner. Just change the color. So come to fill, and then so come to fill. There's a fill button here. So anybody, once you join, okay, somebody wants me to go back. So cloud. So you're using cloud. So Mockup cloud or Mock Plus cloud, forgive me. So it's cloud. So if you sign in, again, I can send you the link. I sent the link to sign in earlier. I have a couple of people already joined. I think if I send the link here, let me see. It's cloud based. You don't have to download anything. A few people are already here. I can count at least. Towing Karim is here. I have 3-4 other people here. I have somebody who's home free. I have myself. Yeah, so I have a couple of people. Perfect. Mayowa is here. Good to see you, Mayowa. Nice. So let me expand this. So Mayowa is here. This is Mayowa that did this on his own. I didn't even touch this. So Mayowa is here. I'll delete my own shape. If you join, just take any shape. Let's just play around first. Take any shape. click it, drag it, put it on this empty page. Then on the right hand side, you will see what we call fill. You'll be able to change the color. Let's just normal warm up first. And let me see if I can address a couple of comments. So Damilola, are you able to figure it out? Sally, so are you able to figure it out? Just create an account. If you create an account, then there's a link that I sent. If you click on that link, it should you should pop in on my screen right now. How are we doing? How are we doing? So I need somebody else to write their name apart from Mayowa. Okay, perfect. I think I have one person. Somebody just type okay. So there's a text. You can click and drag, or even if you double click, actually, it should do the work. If you click and drag, you should be able to. Then there's an input box as well that you can play around with. So there are a lot of stuff you can play around with just for the fun of it. So just play around, everybody. Okay. Looks like we are all good to go for now. Okay, so one more time, let me address this. Somebody still wants me to send the link to join or to register. So even if you Google, somebody just changed your okay. So while we're doing this, I'll send the link again on this YouTube now. You create an account, and it's even good that we are doing this, because when you start working for companies, you might just be seeing some tools for the first time, and you have to set up an account. So this is a good place to start. So you got to figure this out. So I just send the link again. Click on the link, and then by 1:07 my own time, we're gonna jump into Chad Apparel, and we're gonna create a markup for the login page. Now, I don't have access to your user stories, but every login page, as a user, I want to be able to type in my details so that I can log in. I want to be able to log in so I can interact or transact on the e-commerce page, right? So we're going to create that now. Now, two options. I mean, Mr. Gwenga mentioned option one. It depends on how creative you are. Some people might prefer to draw it first on a sheet of paper, and then once you draw it, then you can duplicate what you've drawn. After you're satisfied, then you just start using shape on Mark Plus to duplicate what you've drawn. So it's on the left side, the sisters. The shape is on your left. This is left down corner. Is on your left down corner, if there's anything like that. Or bottom left corner. Bottom left. You see where my hand is, my shape, my mouse is. Don't move the page. Somebody's moving. Somebody's moving the whole page for us. Okay, if you're having technical issues, we'll fix that later. I want us to really jump into this thing. So I think at least I have Mayowa, and I have a couple of I have like 7 people already joining. So those of you that I have, so for the purpose of this class, you can create a new page. So we just want to create a new page now. This is an empty page again. So if you want to go to where we are, everybody should be able to see my screen. If I click home, that is the first page we were playing around with. If I click this, I can rename. I can say something like real project. If you click on real project and home, it's 2 different things. So home, this was the one we were testing. So I can rename it to testing. So I know that, this is not the real project. So everybody has to click on the real project. If you click on real project now, so we have an empty board we can work with. And so for a start, on an home page, what are the things you're looking for to see? Now, this is where maybe if you draw with a paper, might help first. Option B, this is where if you have your user story, you go to your user story. You go to your acceptance criteria, right? But starting from user story, as a user, you want to be able to enter your details. You want to be able to log in. Why? So that you can, there's a word, you can make purchase, but you need to log in first. Now, if you don't have an account, you need to sign in, right? You need to be able to create an account. So now, based on everything I just said, now some features needs to be here on this login or signing page. So number one is we need something like a sign-in button. We need something like a create an account button. We need something like email field, your password, and we'll possibly need Child Apparel logo. And so I want all of us now to work together. Everybody that I gave access to this, we all want to work together. So everybody just look at this. This is what we want to duplicate. This is what we want to duplicate, or this is what we are trying to work towards, so to say. This is a mock-up, right? But we want to start from the scratch, right? So for a start, we have our board. So let's start by saying something like, you know what, so this is input. I just click and drag the input button. So let me stretch out the input button so that we can know what's the name of this company itself. Child Apparel. Now it's small. If it's small, highlight it. On the right hand side, you can increase the font. This is normal. Even Microsoft Word will teach you how to increase font. So if I increase it to 28, it just got bigger. But I want something more bigger than that. Let's do 72. Now it's more clear. Child Apparel. Okay. Now it looks too basic for me. So I want to maybe add some. Let me bold it. Let me change the font. Let's get a better font. Let me extend it. Let me see if I can change the color. So we're all playing around. This is not the thing. So one of you is moving the board while I'm walking. Okay, so what I just did now basically is we're trying to just what's going to be on the headings, right? What are we going to have on the headings? So we could extend this to be more than this. We could reduce this. We're still playing around for now, right? But apart from that, give me 1 second. This is just, give me 1 second. So the headings could be like this. We could change the color back to be maybe neutral color. It could be black. It could be. So I'm doing this from the right side. Okay. But we're coming back to the logo. I want one of you to be the one to design the logo. So, but the basic information you will need. Now let's come back to text. If you double click text, it's gonna pop up. But let me delete it. Option B is you click it, you drag it. Click and drag might work best. So if you're a user, you want to log in to any e-commerce, Child Apparel in this case, you want to be able to type your email address, right? We need to expand this. It looks small to me. So we'll come to the font on the right. That's usually the first thing. Increase the font. It's still small. So let's increase the font to, we can be using 24 as the default. I know if you're not on this page, you just be looking at it from outside. So email address, it looks small. So what we're going to do, just highlight it. Let's do 36. Expand it. Okay. I think this looks good. Not bad. So now, if you type email address, you need a field whereby your user will be able to put in their email address. So this is where input, but you click, you drag it. Let's put it below it. If you click and drag it, you bring it here. You can take it up a bit. So that means now there's a place whereby your user can put in their email address. Now, instead of doing this all over again, you can do copy and paste. And I really want to teach you that very easy. Click on this, Control C, Control V. Now it has duplicated it automatically. Then you click and drag. So we have another email address, but this time then you edit it to password. Then you click and drag this, copy, paste. I just did Control C, Control V, and then you put this under again. So now it's looking like it, right? It's looking like, well, a good preview of what Child Apparel can look like. We are still going to get to the customization part, but at the basic level, email address, password, and then, so if a user enters email address, if they enter their password, so let's say email is test gmail.com. Password is my password. But there's supposed to be a button here to either sign in or log in, or right. So that's where we come to this part again, to the left side. You always get help from the left part. So you click on button, you click, you drag. That's why they call it button. So it's a button that your user will click on. And technically, what I'm even creating, this is what almost most of your e-commerce websites will look like. You type your email address, you type your password. Now, it won't be okay. You are not adding okay, right? It's not okay. So if you prefer login, we type login. If you prefer sign in, you type sign in. For me, I'll just type login. Right? Automatically it's put in there. Now, you can shift this here a bit. You can change the color, which I think we should. Okay, it's gonna be fill. You come to fill button. Now it's too dark. Somebody just changed the whole. Oh my god! One of you just changed the whole project for us now. Somebody. Oh my gosh! The reason I'm laughing is, for now, everybody just, whoever did that, you can undo what you just did now. One of you just, oh, it's too fast. Okay, I'm gonna slow it down. One of you right now just changed our, who changed it for us? Okay, it's okay. Now the beautiful thing, because somebody just interrupted what we are doing, control, highlight it. I can copy it, create a new page, have a new page here, and I can try and paste it here. I just pasted what we're doing here because somebody interrupted what we're doing. So these are some of the times you don't prepare for things like this. But long story short, so we're still back to where we started from. So this is a plain page again, and then so email address, password. So this is a login page, but I want this login to be more bold. I feel as if it's not so visible. So Control B, you bold it, and then you increase the font. Let's do 18. Let's do much more. Let's do 24. Let's change this to area bold. Is it looking like it? If you come to this website, will you be able to log in? I mean, at the basic level, we'll add to this, but at the basic level, you can allow users text to be also increased. So at the basic level, let me delete this. Any one of you that is connected, now jump to the page 1. Everybody who is still, those of you on this page, and type your email address and type your password. Anybody. So click on the email place, type your email address, type your anybody. It could be Mayowa, it could be anybody. Type your email address or just type your name at gmail.com and then type your password or anything. Let me see. Somebody's adjusting this thing. Just double click on the text, click twice. Okay, somebody's typing at the moment. One of you is typing right now. So if you double click, you should be able to type. But at the basic level, what you are doing now, if you tell, okay, somebody just type email, thank you, and then type your password. So if you imagine if you're working with your DevOps guys, and then they're about to build an e-commerce, which one do you think normal logical question do? There's only somebody among those that I had that is just always just helping us to. So do you think that your DevOps guys would prefer that you just send them user story? Of course, they might work with user story. Or do you think they will love it much more if you just create a mock-up and send across to them? Which one do you think they will appreciate much more? Right? It all depends on your perspective, but yeah, so thank you. So this is the basic part. So, but now let's say, now this is for login, but let us say I am a new client. I don't even have an account. So that means there's a bug somewhere here because user cannot create an account. We want user to be able to create an account, right? So what are we going to do? Very easy. You can click on the login, for example, Control C, click on the login, Control C, Control V. I think it's copying everything. You know what? Just click another button, bring another button somewhere. And then we know this button will allow user to be able to. I'll just write create an account. If you put this somewhere around here, we could put it on the left, we could put it on the right or left, we could put it anywhere depending on. Well, let's put it here for now. Create an account and let's make it let's make it obvious. So let me change the color. Now I still don't, I'm not 100% okay with this color yet, but so let's say create an account. We have color. Yeah, we can possibly use the same color. That is fine. You can, depending on how creative you think you are with your color, you can just, but we need an option to create an account. I got to increase the font a bit. Yeah, though this is still basic, but so, but the option, the whole idea is for a first-time user, you can't tell them to log in, right? So you need to tell them to create an account. So there has to be that feature on your first login page, right? And so it's looking like it now, right? And another thing you can do is, so let us say you are an existing user, you typed your email address. Okay, you type your email address, but you can't remember your password. So when you're typing your password, you're logging in, you're getting error message, which that should be a part of your user story and your acceptance criteria as well. If user is entering the wrong password, then the system will generate an automated message saying something like wrong username or password. So once they get that message, what is the way forward? Then there should be something else you're thinking about. That is forgot password. Now, for things like that, you can just use your normal text. So you can just say forgot password question mark. And then this looks too big for me. So you can put it somewhere here. We'll make it very small. I'm going to decrease the font. So the font is adjusted on the right-hand side. Okay, I think it looks too small. Let's do 18. So let's do 20. Let me see what's going on here. Oh, nice. One of us is already doing this already. We have expert here. Let me just help her a bit. So one of us doing this type something can be Chad Apparel. This is good, impressive. And then this login can be maybe here. This is not supposed to be here, but I know she's still trying to. When she's working on it, I can adjust it. So email address doesn't have to be in a box. It can be outside. Right? Email address doesn't have to be in a box. It can be in normal text. So let me help the person. Control V, Control C. Email address. Now, even let's say you want to work on a project. Let's say you yourself, you are the stakeholder. Yeah, Control C and Control V. Yeah, it's gonna put it. If you let me quickly address a couple of questions on YouTube. So somebody is asking, when you want to copy, do you have to do Control C and Control V successfully? Yes. So if you do Control C and you Control V, it's gonna put it on top of what you just copy and paste. You will not click one of them. When you click and you drag it, it will leave the second one there. Then you can move the one you just copied to where you want to put it. You can move the one you just copied to where you want to put it. If you have any project, and let's say you even want to do a party, your wedding, or you are planning your own proposal, anything you want to do, as long as it's a project, You can always just have a preview of what it's going to look like. If you're expecting 300 people, where will you put the chairs, where you put the table, where's going to be the stage, where's going to be the cake, where's going to be the... These are some of the things that goes on behind the scene. This is why people literally employ an event planner. These are some of the things an event planner puts into consideration. I was planning a particular book launch. I was working as a project manager for a particular book launch here in Winnipeg. And then we were expecting over 200 people. And then, so one of the things we did is we had to go to the venue we went about 2 weeks before the event. We went there to just check out everything. I went with the person who is hosting the event, the major stakeholder in this case. And then I started asking questions. Okay, how many people are you expecting? How many people do you want to sit here? Should we put the food here? Should we? And while the person was answering the questions, I was just documenting all of those things. Oh, the person said, "Oh, I want my DJ here," and then so I was just mapping out all the requirements. Okay, she wants the DJ here. Okay, where do you want your servers to be? I want my server here. I want the book to be here. I want to sign some of my books here, and I want some of them to be outside. I want people to be selling. All of those things, you have to go to the drawing board because the person is having one meeting with you, right? You're not going to call after 3 hours and say, "Hey, the other time you told me you want to have your food." So as the person is saying, if the person allows you to record, you can be recording the audio, and then, but if not, have your book and then just like a rough. I've had a lot of programs I've had in Winnipeg, and most of the time there was a time I wanted to have a particular program, a concert, and then so these guys they were asking me, so what do you want it to look like? The arrangement somewhere in downtown here. I had to draw, I had to set up, draw for them. And so my point is, the preview really makes your life easy. It makes the life of the person who is gonna do the work easy, and the life of and the life of it's gonna make the life of the person who you are employing to do the task to be easy. And it's gonna make the life of you or whoever your stakeholder is to be very easy. You know what they want, and to an extent, both of you are on the same page. So that if they are fine with the preview or what you call mock-up, then you can work with it to execute the final solution they're all requesting for. So long story short, I've said so many things. Let me check again. Okay, I think everybody is good for now. We got to wrap this up. So this is one of us doing a fantastic job, a very fantastic job. But you on the website, you might not see the whole thing appear like this. So I'm just gonna maybe do a couple of touch up. So let me go back to our screen. So this is one of us that did this. What you're seeing on the screen right now. I didn't do this. One of us did this by just joining now. And this is what. So, but I just want to possibly just touch it a bit. Okay. So 1 second, whoever is working on this should just pause for a second. So for login, you don't use input, you use button. So because if I come here now and I type, this is my password, for example, I need a button to click. It's no longer an input I need. I don't need input. You don't need input here. You don't need input anymore. You need what we call button. So I'll delete this. And then this way you come to the left side. You come to the left side, click on this button. It says, okay, click it, and you bring it. And then you put it somewhere here. So you use a button for your sign in. It could be anything you prefer, and then you can change it. You can adjust your color to anything you want it to be. For forgot password, it's not really going to be as big as, because they don't always pray that you forget your password, right? They usually don't always pray that you forget your password. So it could be something you could just type somewhere and just got password, and it's usually most of the time in a question format, because again they don't usually pray that you forget your password. So you could just come to the right hand side, put it on maybe 16 or even 14, reduce the font, and put it somewhere. It could even be here. Depends on how creative you really want to get. Let me put it on 10. You could put it somewhere here. So then with this, like I said, this is just literally maybe 20 or 30% of the job done. So now if you are part of the people really participating in the project that they've been working on, if you go back to your user story, you will see something like, oh, as a user, if I forgot my password, I want to be able to reset my password. So that's where we have forgot password option. It could be a button as well, but if something like forgot password, if user forgot their password, we can create a button as something like reset my password, right? We could do things like that. It depends on how you want to go. Now, for a second, let me take you to this. This is one of the, I think we created this sometimes last year. And so in this context, child apparel, we're looking at, okay, I'll possibly teach us how we can create the logo and the whole stuff. So, and then there's a login, there's a sign in, there's a remember me, there's a forgot password, create an account. But long story short is the button for resetting your password, it depends on how you want to make it. You can make it simple, or you can make, if user enters, that I'm doing so many user story and so many mockups at the same time. But let me show you this and this. So we are comparing this with this now. So we need more features, right? We want your user to be able to create an account. This is the button. So, but if they forgot password, let's say we make this a button. If user clicks on this button, then it creates the next page. So now automatically, let's go back. Login page. If user, and this is where your work becomes a chronological kind of work. So let's say if you click on this, if user clicks sign in, what will be the next page? On your user story, you should have all of those things marked out, right? You guys should have that figured out. And so if he clicks sign in, what page is your whole, what's it going to redirect? So the next thing you're going to do is, if you go back to this now. So let's say I'm a user. Whoever created this thing did a great job. But let me just expand everything we have here. Let me just make it a bit easy. So a couple of things to do. This email address is short. Increase the font to 72, for example. Okay, let's reduce it. Okay, and password, we can also maybe increase this to 40 something. Yeah, but long story short, come back to sign in. If your user clicks sign in, what's going to be the next course of action? What's the next thing happening when your user clicks sign in? Increase the font of your sign in. Make it bold. Change the color. Yeah, the background color already do. Now, and so on and so on. You can import pictures into it. If you feel as if there's a picture somewhere, you can just click and drag it. You can import pictures. You can, but I really just want to really start nailing this right now. So you don't create, except you are let's say you are the stakeholder, so to say, the main stakeholder, that you are the one giving out the projects to a business analyst, and then you can just either draw what you want or just use this to just design what you want. But if you have a user story already, and then the user story is already in a chronological order in the context of, so you say, okay, after user is able to either sign in, if they forgot password, this should be what the next should look like. To me, I think this looks beautiful, right? If user forgot password and they click on forgot password, it takes them here, and the system tells them to please enter the email address you sent or you used to create your account. I will send you a link to reset your password. If you type your email address and you click submit, then they will send you a link to your email address, and then that link will allow you to be able to automatically create a new password, right? We are not going to all of this place today, right? This is more at the basic level, right? There's a the new cohort is coming up in March, whereby you can learn some of these things extensively, right? And then for some of you that, and some of you right now that you are working on your project, this will really be helpful to you. And this is more like a, let's say, wireframe slash mock-up, right? You see, so this is gonna be your men's, your women, your kids, and one of the product page. Now, this again, maybe product listing, you can see on the left hand side. If you want to check out what's that gonna look like, this can look like this. This is not the main checkout. Let me show you the main checkout we concluded on. So the checkout page, some of you must be familiar with something like this. Let's say you're about to check out, you see your items, shipping and handling, total before tax, your estimated GST, and then order total. Then if you're sure, you place your order. If you're not sure, if you want to change, so these are all of the things that will already be in your user stories, right? Right. If you're working on the feature, if your epic, one of the epics you're working on is the payment or the checkout session, these are the things you already factor into your user story. You can change your delivery address, you can change your payment method, and then once you, if you're not changing anything, you click place order, it should take you here. If you want to change, let's say you want to change your payment details, you're going to see something like this. Your payment details, do you want to use a debit card, your PayPal? You type your name. You see, you can type your name. Test. You can. This was supposed to be card number. Your card number. When is it gonna expire? Once you save it, then it takes you back to this page, and then you place your order. Right. So, long story short, and we'll go back to the main login page. I'll allow you guys to play around, and the rest part is gonna be more of you guys playing around. On this part, if you are currently on this page, I want you to, if you're on this page, on the left part, if your name is here, I want you to press this add page, and then if you click this, you have a new page, then you can type your name. I'm going to create one for Mayowa, for example. I know Mayowa is here. So Mayowa, I want you to work with this board. Who else is here? Let me see if I can find your name. Yeah, create. Okay, I just saw Ade. Okay. The name disappeared. Okay, Adesoye. So nice, Toyin, good job. So just double click this. Once you double click it, then rename it. Put your name there. Enoch, good job. Yeah, I could see Enoch. I could see Mayowa. So double click. Once you double click, then you are able to just automatically rename it. So it's gonna be fun. The reason I want you to just put your name there, Esther, good job. The reason I want you to put your name there is you want to work on your own basic, and some of you that you're even doing this project for Child Apparel, for your group, you can just start with this. Your login page, we just created something similar. So you can have something like this, your sign-in page. Your email address is important, your password, remember me, forgot password, sign in, create an account. Now, you might be more creative than what we have here. Your color preference might change. There's no restriction to what you can do, please. So, but I want you to work with that on this new page. Perfect. Yeah, the beautiful thing, yes, you can copy and paste. I'm going to delete this home page. So you can copy and paste. For example, but I don't advise you do if you have a better option. You can create these things from the scratch. But put your name there. And then we can always check on what you are doing individually. Yeah, this is somebody doing a good job, but rename it, put your name there. If you don't put your name there, anybody can just, okay, there's nobody here. I'll delete this. So this is Esther. So everybody jump on these things and then let's see what we can do. But for now, overall, let me start summarizing what I'm trying to communicate. Overall, what we're trying to make you understand is your life or your project becomes kind of easy when there's a preview. You remember the definition, the simple definition of what mockup is all about. It's a preview of what your project will look like. It's a preview that will make your project look real, right? It really makes all the difference. Most especially, let's say you want to do a project. Let's say you're not even the business analyst now. Let's say you have a business. You have a business, right? And then you say you're a business analyst. Now you wanna give out your you wanna create an e-commerce for your business, and you're a business analyst, right? Now you want to work with a business analyst or a scrum team to work on helping you create an e-commerce. You as a business analyst, how do you want to communicate the requirement so that they can give you exactly what you want, right? And at times this might help. I told you, let me share that screen again. Personally, I was working on a personal project, and then I needed to just send. Okay, it's not here. Okay, this is it. I created this to make the life of the team I'll be working with, to make their life easy. So I created this so that they can have something to work with. So I told them where they will put what, because we didn't go to the venue, and we imagine if you have to go, you want to go do a tour in another country, another city, and then there's a particular way you want your whole tour or your concert, your book launch, your party, your proposal, your wedding, your naming ceremony to look like. And then you can't communicate that over the phone and expect the person to get 100% of what you really want them to do. So at times things like this might make the life of the people, event planner or even the project manager, very easy, right? So something like this might help. If you're working on anything, it could be anything. So let me just let you all enjoy yourself with the test. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you more like a screenshot of this. It's not you guys that did this, it is myself and my team that did this. So this is a screenshot. I'll send a screenshot if you need something like a reference to work with. All the tools you will need, they're on the left side. So you can, like I said, if you need a text, this is it. If you need a shape, this is it. If you need images, if you need a button. Now, a button is usually needed when an action is required. So they just imputed their email address. So what is the next course of action? You want them to be able to sign in. So they need a button to click. If they want to create a new account, they need a button to click, right? That's why you need a button. A checkbox, I don't think you need that now. For, like I said, this is more of the basic introduction, basically, to Mockup. When the next business analysis cohort starts in March, I know they will go extensively into some of these things I'm giving you on the surface level. And then you'll be able to also have practical projects you're going to work on with your Mock Plus. But even with this, with what you guys have, I want to see how creative you are. Awesome. This person is doing well. So I will check your name. I have access to this, so I'll be able to check it from time to time. Now, if I really want to possibly assist Toyin possibly needs to just either move all of this thing. You can reduce it. I think she's working on it. So if she's already working on it, I can't click on it. So if she's on it right now, I can't move it. I can't action it. Okay, I think she just left it. Let's see how we can move this to the. Okay, perfect. So, but this still looks long. So let's see how we can reduce it. So you can click on this. So, but just have fun. I really just want you guys to have fun with this. Just enjoy yourself with this. Depending on how creative you are, there's really no one way to do this. It depends on how creative you are. So if she's already working on this, let me check on Mayowa. Let me see what Mayowa is doing. So this is Mayowa creating something awesome. I like this logo. Good job, Mayowa. Yeah. So at the basic level, you guys, I think you guys are professional already. So Mayowa prefers to put his sign in there. The only concern about this is just your sign-in button should not be that small, and your input button be this big, right? Right. You need to let them know that there's an action. So you can possibly increase this or reduce this, depending on what works for you. Let me see what Esther is up to. Esther is just starting. Let me see what Kemi is up to. Kemi is just starting. Dory Bags is doing well. Good job. Awesome. So you guys you're professional already. So, but like I said, this is more on the surface level. If you really want to go into this, the extensive training for and practical, you need a practical knowledge of how to build your mock-up, or you want to handle mock plus and maybe other projects you want to work on. You can just stay tuned. I think Mr. Gwenga will give you more information about the next cohort coming in. And okay, I'll stop sharing my screen now, and then let me get questions. Does anybody have a question? Let me address the comment section. How do you start from beginning to add this icon? So Gabriel TV is asking that question. Okay, for a start, Gabriel or Gabriela, I don't really want to go back from the scratch, but if you create an account, this video will be made available. But if you create an account and then you are able to just click on new project, automatically you will have your board, more like your board that you'll be working with. If you don't have it, click on the rectangle shape and just drag it. If you click on the rectangle shape and you drag it and you just automatically drag it, that's a board you can work with. If you don't have a ready-made board to work with, just click on the rectangle shape and drag it onto your board, and then you can work with it. So that's it, basically. But again, rewatch this video. It's not too long. I think this whole video will be less than 1 hour 30 minutes max, so you should be fine. And then let me see, how did you get to color? How did you get to the background color orange? Okay, I'm gonna share my screen one last time. I'll answer Gabriel's question, and let me see who has the question. Kingsley's question at the same time. Kingsley and Gabriel have answered your question at the same time. So let me show you something. So let me exit what they are working on. These guys are working right now. Enoch, Mayowa, who is Humphrey? I don't know who Humphrey is. This person is very good in designing. This is Toyin. This is Dory Bags. So, but let me show you guys a new trap project, right? So if you click on new, this is new. Oh, it's telling me to upgrade because I reached my limit. But technically, if you click on new project, you should have access to that. This is what they are working on. But let's say I want to create a new page. This is plus. I reached my limit. So I have already 10 people working on this. Let me delete one of them and work with that. Let me delete real project. So now let's say I'm joining them. So automatically, this is a board to work with. This is a board. I haven't even done anything. I just created page. You see page 3. I've not even removed it. Okay, let me just name it delete. So with this, I can work with this. This is on the left-hand side. You can drag any shape into this. So let's bring rectangle into this. So lots of colors you can work with here. Lots of colors. So these are the color options you have. If you click on blue, it will give you different types of blues. You know, there are turquoise blue, Kinecon blue, sky blue. So we work with any color you have. And then background color that you were asking, this is it. So that's completely, you have to click on this guy. It will show you background color. This is it. I think I just answered the question of the person. Okay, that's orange, right? So this is the background color option. On the right side, background. If you click on the background, if I even delete this, this is background color. You can change it. Right? You can change the background color. If you want something reddish, so most of the color and every other thing you have to do will be on the right-hand side. Most of the shapes and typing will be on the left-hand side. Sally said, can we have the different mock-up you created for this project? Yes, I will send that to the group. If you're on the WhatsApp group, I'll send it to you. You have access to it. If you're not on the WhatsApp group, then you need to register. You have to register for this business analysis free class. Those that are registered, they are having access to resources and materials that is helping them. So you have to register. But I'll take a screenshot of that and I'll send it to the group so you guys have access to it. So we have to wrap up this class. Does anybody have any other question? Any question, anybody? Any question? Any other question? If there are no questions, then we have to wrap up this class. And by the way, I can access what you guys are working on. So I have, let me show you guys just to know that I can access it. I can see what you guys have done so far. Let me share my screen one last time. So on the left side, I have Enoch. I can see what Enoch is doing. Enoch is duplicating. Okay, this is Enoch. This is what he's doing. Let me see Mayowa. Mayowa is a legend. Oh yes, by the way, there are icons. Let me take myself out of it so you can see icons. You have lots of stuff you can work with here. There are lots of icons you can work with. If you need social, this is social. So it's going to give you all the symbol for almost every social media you can think about, or even emails. And yeah, you have lots of stuff you can work with. And this is even still at the basic level, right? If you really, if this looks interesting to you, or you feel as if yes, you want to, even in the future you're planning to be a maybe UI UX designer, this will really help you. And so, like I said, we can't really 100% talk about everything in one sitting, but you can see my screen. You have access to everything. If you want a drop, a check, a single drop list, you have lots of options you can work with. A video whereby, I want to be able to watch videos. This maybe progress view, we use it in learning management system. So you're trying to create a learning management system and you want users to be able to track their progress. You need icons. Again, it's just click and drag. They all work with click and drag. Audio option, we just click and drag. You can bring them pie chart, bar chart. Now if you're using, let's say, you need a map on your e-commerce, you can click and drag. Shapes, you have access to lots of shapes. So, but long story short is, so I can see what you are all doing, and you're all doing a great job for now. So I just, enjoy yourself, and if this looks interesting to you, then I'll strongly advise you join the next cohort, and it's really gonna be awesome. Yeah, this person is doing a great job. Who is this person? Name, please. I want you to rename. You can rename it on the left. This person is doing a great job. This is unique. So there is no restriction to how creative you can be. Okay, we got to wrap up. They might get tempted to wrap up this session. I have so many people are asking more questions. It's similar to Canva. Yes, you're right in a sense. It's very similar. Let me see. Please, how do you write on these pages? Direct me on the icons. So if you possibly have further question outside this, you can just let us know. We can't do everything. Gabriela, because I have access to all what you guys are doing now, at least those of you on the page. If you have any question, name it. Just name it, right? Name it to be Gabriela, so I can know that it's you. And then once I know that it's you, that you need this help, I can just jump into your page and see how I can assist you. Right? There are like 9 of you working on this thing. Yeah, 9. So but if you have other questions, you can drop it on the WhatsApp group, and then we can possibly take it up from there. Let me see. How do I send another board backward? I have no idea what that means. But what do you mean by another board backward? Deimos 2007. Rename. As long as you put your name on this project and you put your question and your name on the group, I should be able to address it one-on-one. Put your name and your question on the group, because we have to wrap this up. I'm going to bring back Mr. Gbenga to wrap up this class, but so I can possibly address your question personally, jump into what you're working on, and then help you navigate it. But the icons don't have default colors. Yes, they don't have colors because they want you to be able to be creative. If they have default template colors already, then you are stuck with the possibilities that you have. You are the one, you know what you want, right? Depending on the requirement you're working with. So it's a neutral shape, neutral icon, and then you can see how you can even download. If you go online and you just type Facebook icon, save that image, then go to your downloads, click it, drag it. You should be able to click, and you should be able to add image to this. Let me show you. I promise. Last showing, I will show you. Last showing. I got to wrap up this session, but last showing, I'll show you. If you come to this, for example, I'm trying to show you a picture of, and okay, perfect. Yeah, this is what I was looking for. So this is the shopping cart. This particular image, we downloaded it and then we just dragged it into what we're trying to achieve. Right? This is a neutral image that we downloaded online. So you can download an image online, you can click and drag it to whatever you're working on, and then that will be awesome. Okay. This is similar to Canva, yes. The only thing is you have more options with Mock Plus than you have with Canva. So if I'm right, Mockup is a step further into developing a good job. Yes, that's a way to see it. It's a preview, right? It's a preview of what your solution will look like. You can't spend so much time in trying to work on a solution, and at the end of the day, you are not sure of if the solution is the solution that your stakeholder wants, right? So let us say for now, let us assume that we started working on this. Your stakeholder tells you, well, I need an e-commerce. I want my clients to be able to log in. I want them to be able to, and they told you everything. And then you came up with this. Let's say you came up with this. Yes, you can use Canva. If you're very good on Canva, yes, you should be able to use Canva. But my point is, with this, number one, I haven't tried using Canva to collaborate before, whereby now I have like 7, 8 of you joining. We're working on the same project, right? I haven't used Canva in the context of collaborating before, but yes, I think I've seen Canva. I've used Canva to do something like that. Not at this high level, not with projects like this. I've never used Canva to do project like this. But for the basic mockups, yes, you can use Canva. Oh, nice. So yes, so you can use Canva for collaboration. So that is awesome. So that answers your question, Canva. But if you get a job, by the way, most of the time, most companies don't use Canva. Most companies will not use Canva, right? Most company either uses, if you go online, you will never. Well, I don't know, depending on how big or how small the company is. If it's a company of maybe 2 people, yeah, you can. So, but yeah, I think that answers your question. Do you make mockup for every user story? For example, we have various user stories. Now that's another question for another class. But let me just answer it in a simple way. We don't have the user story for this particular if you're in a group right now, if you're in either group 1, group 2, or group 3, you should have your user story by now. I don't know if Mr. Gbenga can share one of your user story later on before he wraps up this class, but depending on what your user story is saying, we are creating user stories, whatever it is, on a particular epic. So, or feature, right? So let's say your login page right now, it's one of the features, right? Or your epic. Now, on that page, you want your users to be able to do a certain number of things on that particular page, right? And so you have the feature, you have the page, you have the epic itself, right? The one we've been working on is the login, for example. Okay, thank you, Mr. Gbenga. Is the login page, for example, right? But there are so many user stories you can generate for just that one login page, right? Because you want user to be able to, number one, sign in. Number two, if they don't have an account, create an account. Number three, if they forgot their password, to reset their password, right? You want them to, number four, you want them to even sign in as a guest. All of these four things I just said right now, they are different user stories you create for each of them, right? Mr. Gwenga, I'm not sure if you want to possibly take it up from here, or if you have any copy of their user stories to give them perspective of this particular question.
Yeah, you are very on point. You are very correct. Yeah. So, like you said, for you, though I don't have, we have the user story already on Jira, but like I said,
Oh,
I've been so busy, I was not able to even go into that. But I will see what I can do this week and see how I can get into that, and we can actually display some of these things. Though the time is not there, it's best as an assignment, whereby everybody can, get your hands dirty on it. You can use different tools. I can find all of this on the chat. Yeah, there are so many tools you can use. And again, you can collaborate as a team on all of these tools. Figma is one very, very powerful tool for mockups, prototype, and so you can use any of these. But yeah, when you follow your user stories, you go just what you have on the user story, you'll be creating that mockup. Or you can actually start from wireframe, the low fidelity, and again you can move to that level. However, some teams, you may have your UI UX designers, dedicated one in your team. This is their own responsibility. But I'm telling you, many organizations today, they don't want to hire, they don't want to spend much. So if you come up with, as a BA in your resume, you actually display that you can do things like these, like user experience, user interface. That will give you a kind of upper hand in that competition. So that's why I personally advise and encourage every BA, add this to your tool, add this to your skill, rather. It's very, very key. So you go with your user story right from the landing page. You want to demonstrate something like that. Again, if the solution, you want to have both web and mobile app, yeah, you can as well also design the mobile application prototype the same way. And the way it's going to show on the web is not the same thing, the same way it's going to show on the prototype, the mobile application. So that's it. I don't know. I know we have a lion car also here. I don't know. Maybe she will also have something to add. A lion car.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Oh, okay, good. So Mr. Benga has said it all. So once you're designing, there's something you call small screens. Small screens are your mobile phones. So when you're designing, the presentation on your small screen is usually different from what you see on the big screen. Of course, the big screens are your laptop and your system. So take, for example, you have the Chad Apparel home page. You have all the functionalities on the home page itself. Once it's on small screen, there's a possibility that some features are nested. It's called nested. There's a possibility that some features are nested when you're on the small screen. And these are things you actually do. You call it sort order. These are things that when you're describing your user story, you need to call them out to say that, okay, when it's on small screen, this is the nesting that should happen. This is the usual this is the way it is, but on the small screen, these are. And yes, we have Figma. Figma is a very powerful one. FigJam also, they added another one in line. It's also called FigJam. It's also a product of Figma. In addition to to what we're currently using. So, and there are a number of them online that you can utilize. But currently, we've been able to utilize the one we're using now. And I think with this, we can actually, if you can use this one, actually, you can use any of them. If you can actually work with this one, you can utilize any of them. All you need to do is know the basics. And like he rightfully said, some organizations, they have the product designer. My own organization, we have a product designer, but recently we discovered that it's been overwhelmed. So we actually have to take up the responsibility of doing some of these things itself and delivering. And the beauty about some of these things is there's a way it actually, so especially I work with Figma. There's a way you actually do your mock-up on Figma that it can give you the exact experience you want, like clicking on login. You click on login, it takes you to the next page. Once it takes you to that page, you can see the different thing. You click on the next thing, it takes you to the next page. And it's quite, it's very, very huge. The discussion around product designing is not something you can do in 2 hours. It's a course on its own. So it's not something we can actually finish in a day self. So, but yes, you have the basic understanding, which is very important. You have the basic, the fundamentals of how you can explore all these things and how you can use them, and that's the most important thing. You can now choose to build on that yourself by going, take it an extra mile to, do the different touch-ups that we've been given by Yinka here.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Like I promised, I'm still talking with this developer to see if they can be of help with this our project, but I don't know. No green light yet. Everybody we are just so busy. Even myself, very, very, very busy. So, but again, that's not the end. We will still push on. Next week is another week, which is going to complete our 8th week. I wanted to bring a software tester, like I promised, but she couldn't come today. I don't know if next week will be good for her. We may have her, but if not, yeah, we progress. We continue with what we're doing, and we drop one or two other information on the platform and see how we move forward. This week, definitely, I'm going to visit every group. I will visit every group. Let me see how we are faring, how things are going on. I appreciate everyone contributing. Like I said, this is an opportunity for us to learn, give. If you are already working as a BA, please, we want you to also come and contribute to this community. After these 8 weeks, yeah, we have plans of bringing some other people in the area of Scrum, in the area of data analysis, and some project management, leadership, and management skills. So we are going to also have HR session as well. So I appreciate everyone. Thank you for your time. Kinka, thank you. That was a good job. And everyone that jumped on the board, thank you. Olayinka, thank you also for being part of this. And every one of you, I appreciate you. I appreciate the push. I will continue to encourage you. If you are already in Canada, you are transitioning into this career path, don't give up. Don't give up. Keep pushing. Keep learning. Keep learning. The right one will come. And if you are planning to come, yes, you're already on the right path. Keep learning as well. Keep connecting, network with people, the right set of people that will help you and make your transition very easy. You might have been getting interviews and maybe you want to be discouraged. Don't be discouraged. If you are getting interview, I'm telling you, you're on the right path. And if not, you may need to work on your resume. So keep pushing, keep moving. I know a lot of people are reaching out to me. Some of you, I may even have time to talk with you. Some I may not have. Please take me like that. I have a lot on my hand, a lot. And that's why I'm so happy. I'm blessed. I have people around me that I can always call on to come up and assist. So please, let's keep helping each other, supporting each other. You have a question, drop it on the wall and you will see people will jump at it and help you out of that. So I wish everyone best for this weekend. I wish our nation, Nigeria, all the best. We're waiting for that new Nigeria to be rebirthed. And it's my prayer that God will make the masses laugh at last. So thank you everyone for coming. Enjoy the rest of today. We're waiting for the result in Nigeria. God bless you and have a wonderful afternoon, evening, and night over there.